Welcome everybody to the Theory of Anything podcast.
Input sound effect here.
Sound effect here. It is episode 45.1. We have all the main cast here. We've got Ford.
Well done.
Good day.
We've got Andy.
Welcome. Hello.
We've got Devon.
I started.
And special guest for the evening, we've got Timmy Boy.
Back at it again.
Back at it again.
This is a real first for our special guest to get to do the intro. Is a brand new thing. Yeah. Who knows whether it becomes the norm? Yeah. Well done. Thank you, Tim. It's better than my normal, boring, old, usual opening. Yeah. Thank you.
It should be.
Yes.
Everybody agrees. It's nice to be back. Nice to see you all. Nice to have Tim with us.
Yes, thank you, Tim. Due to popular demand.
Yeah.
He's just so good on the podcast. Like,
What a troll.
Is this your this is your second actual main feature visit with us, but you've also heavily commented and involved yourself in some of our gaming sessions, haven't you?
It's true.
Yeah. So people will recognise your voice if you're an avid follower.
I am that gamer screaming nonsense.
He
You're
is.
right.
Our gaming expert. Don't tell Ford and Devon.
wait, what? He can have that for sure.
Oh, dear.
You've pushed me there. Guys.
Speaking of gamers, we've got some pickups, haven't we?
Yes, pick up from previous episodes. I saw on my iPad the other day that RuneScape, which is a game that you guys, I don't know if you still play it or not.
On and off.
Oh no, you
like
used
Eve.
to love it. You used to love it, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm presuming, and I'm going to ask this question in a moment, it's changed a lot, but it's coming to mobile iOS, so iPads and iPhones, in June.
Yes.
And is available to pre-order already. I don't know what the cost's going to be. They haven't announced that. But it came up on the Apple App Store main page. Pre-order, so that was interesting. I might even give it a go. I do have a RuneScape account somewhere.
Do you really?
Whether I can remember my login details, it might be interesting to try it.
This RuneScape is called RuneScape 3. It's the main and latest one that they're bringing to iOS. They've already got the old school RuneScape, which is what me and Ford used to play, and they basically rehashed it again because people liked the old school factor. They've already had that on mobile devices before. I've still got that now. Yeah, I think I've got it on my phone. I've done my login bits on my phone. So yeah, I mean...
So has it improved dramatically over the years?
It got worse, man.
Visually. But as it looked better, did it
looks
play
better,
worse?
But it's just a worse game. I mean,
And
the old school is more popular than the
that's interesting.
RuneScape 3. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim, do you have any experience with RuneScape?
Only that it's a meme.
What do you mean it's a meme? Got a huge following.
Yeah.
The whole game is a meme.
The whole game is a meme, yeah.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
So it's still big. Anyway, so that was just a pickup that I forget what was mentioned about it last week. Oh, about the server being a multi. We were talking about Eve, weren't we?
We were.
I did mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, we have different servers for different quantities of players.
Yeah.
Well, I forget the correct terms for these things, but yeah. Anything else? No,
not for me.
Okay, so let's move on to our next segment, which is Anything Newsfeed.
And now it's time for Anything Newsfeed.
Again, is it just me, or has anybody got anything else they want to comment on or bring? Because I've got 3 things I was going to share.
That's probably plenty.
We can whistle through them if you like.
Go for it.
I again had some news stuff coming through on my iPad about the new development, and I think it was in Amazon's. You know, the Amazon stores that are now becoming more and more. I think there's one in London, and there's several all around America. Not several, but plenty all around America, where you just walk in, you take the stuff you want, and walk out.
Wow.
You set up your account, obviously, and connect your payment method to it, and it just knows you by your appearance. Or maybe I'm wrong in this. Anyway, you don't have to scan anything. You don't have to have no checkout people, and they just what you take off the shelf and put in your basket is logged or watched by hundreds of cameras. I exaggerate probably for effect, but
Thousands.
It may be hundreds, and the computer, the AI, will determine what you've actually taken from the shelves, and automatically deducts the value of that from your account. Doing away with checkout assistance. And then you say girls, then that would be very inappropriate, wouldn't it?
Oh yes, very. We don't do chauvinism here, thank you
I
very
could
much.
have said it 20 years ago, but I can't say it anymore. But the recent article is something to do with biometrics that are going to be in hand scanners. The facial recognition is there already, but there's something going on, and I feel very unprepared. I should have read more deeply into it. But there's some biometric hand scanning stuff going on, which slightly concerns me. These developments sometimes excite me, sometimes worry me. For those of you who are Christians, probably alarm bells might be going, thinking about what the Bible says about that sort of stuff, implanted stuff into the body and what have you. So there's some developments that seem to be moving us in that direction.
You don't want to be a cyborg?
I did like the Cybermen in Doctor Who. I wanted
Yeah.
to be a Cyberman, yeah.
Cool. I kind of thought walk-in shops, they're going out of date, aren't they? Amazon is replacing walk-in shops, aren't they? So why would they then branch out into owning shops? Seems weird.
Probably they want to monopolise the high street physically as well as the online retail sector as well.
I mean, just look at the purchases they've made, though, right? Like they bought Whole Foods, 2 years ago, and they bought up all of their store locations, which made no sense at the time. But if you were going to put in this whole self-service shopping thing, just like McDonald's have with the whole get your own order,
that's true.
Then
and that was all
saves
about
time, doesn't it?
Exactly, saving overheads, isn't it? Yeah, people are expensive. Yeah,
Robots last forever.
I'd be more concerned about that, to be honest. The idea that it's making people redundant. Than
It makes
implants.
certain people redundant, I suppose, and certain people not. I mean, someone's got to make the robots and install the robots and repair the robots. But I guess it's the unskilled workers that is making redundant instead.
But I mean, this is going to sound really harsh, but you can get retrained in something else. So I am an engineer, right?
Learn to code.
I'm just a basic production engineer. You can create robots to completely take over what I do. But I could be retrained in something else that's still to do with engineering. The great thing about engineering, great thing about IT, the great thing about a lot of those kinds of jobs is that when one field closes, another field's going to open somewhere else. So now we've got 3D printing. Now we've got the nuclear industry has always been massive. I don't know. To me, I'd rather be optimistic than pessimistic, I suppose. That's me.
So the world is definitely changing.
I'm not used to having optimism on this podcast. Do you mind?
My bad.
You're bringing up the tone too high.
Moving on from that,
Nice.
it kind of connects in a way that in the next Apple update 14.5, they're allowing new settings. So the tracking privacy features are going to be adapted so that you can switch off both tracking your movement on the web and also your physical location tracking. So like on off and on apps, you have to give permissions, don't you, these days?
Yeah.
When you download things, and we just tick OK, carry on, because if we don't, we can't use the app. Well, Apple are going to giving users a option now to pull out of those tracking and a bit more privacy anyway. So this could be interesting to watch how Google and the Android market cope with people maybe thinking, oh, with Apple I get better data protection. Maybe I'll jump ship and go.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if it works out, then I guess it can't be bad, can it? And make it a competitive market in privacy, which I think would be good.
The thing is, you see, Android devices rely more heavily on advertising, whereas Apple rely on very expensive hardware. So, that's something of an interest in the two different platforms, really.
I already thought that wasn't a feature in Android anyway. You can turn off your location thing.
There's a location button in the drop down. You're right.
So is that the same thing? Or are we talking cross purposes there?
Well, let me just read the heading. Apple's latest iPhone update, iOS 14.5, brings a host of new features that customers will likely see and enjoy. Better Face ID unlocking whilst wearing a mask. New emoji support for PS5 and Xbox Series controllers.
Gotta love those new
but-
emojis.
But but the new update also adds a much more important and controversial new feature: app tracking transparency. That's Apple's name for privacy feature that's shaping up to be the company's next big fight.
Yeah, it seems like it's a hot topic. Like Google has reworked its privacy settings so many times because so many people have come out and gone, "Oh, this thing's wrong with it. This thing's wrong with it." And then, of course, there was that documentary that came out, which was from like the creator of the like button, a bunch of people on Twitter, like a bunch of developers from Twitter, and they all came out and what was the documentary called? The Social Dilemma. There you go.
It was on Netflix, wasn't it?
It was on Netflix. Yeah.
Okay,
And
I don't think I've seen that.
It was a breakdown of how AI in the background gets trained by you and how you use your phone, and then pushes notifications to you to try and get as much screen time as humanly possible. So,
Scary stuff, wasn't it?
oh yeah, for sure. So I think Google's still, even though they've had that location button, there is still this thing where it's been proven multiple times that even with the location button off, Google still knows your location. Google still has location information on you.
Really?
It's just on the back end. You just don't see it. So I'm a little bit optimistic again when it comes to Apple, even though Apple have never necessarily seemed to take an interest. I'm interested to see where they go, where the fight goes, as you say.
I mean, obviously, many apps work better knowing where you are. Your weather app, for example, it can much more accurately predict the weather for you if it knows where you are. So I think there's the two aspects of it: not only your physical location, but also your history of where you've been browsing as well. So and what you've been browsing, as in, I don't mean the other stuff that people might be thinking. I'm thinking about what you've been shopping for and all the stuff that we normally associate with cookies, don't we? That we click yes to.
I use a dating app and it asks me for my location.
Oh,
just for closer matches.
I suppose that helps if they don't live the other side of the world, or the country.
Is that like when you're going down the shops or something, and then it pings off there's a person right next to you? Ooh, okay.
Yeah, someone fancies you in the next store.
Yeah.
Happens to him all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, us married men, we get our days of that are gone.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah.
You'd hope anyway.
Okay. One more thing from me. I guess you guys are very familiar with E3. Do you know?
Yes.
Yes, the gaming industry's big showcase, really,
Convention
isn't it?
thing, yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't happen last year because of the pandemic. This year is happening, but only virtually. So there isn't going to be a big exhibition hall with all the
Exhibits.
Exhibits. That's the word I'm looking for.
You're welcome.
But it is available. But it's a good thing in a way because it'll be available online. More people will be able to attend. I think it's happening on June the 12th to the 15th. The notable omissions, though, include Sony. How can Sony not be going? EA, Electronic Arts. I presume they're mostly just game producers, aren't they? EA. They're not hardware, is it?
No.
Activision and some others.
Bethesda's not on the list to miss it, are they?
They're owned by Microsoft now, so you'd think they would be.
Nintendo and Microsoft are both going to be
Need
presented.
that Elder Scrolls 6 coming my way. That's good.
I wonder if these people who aren't showing up are taking a leaf out of the book of Comic-Con, who also did their convention online sometime last year, and it really didn't do very well. They didn't handle anything particularly well. I mean, obviously it's lockdown, so there's not really a lot to talk about, is there? But yeah, so I wonder if some of these people aren't showing up because they know already it just doesn't work as well, you know?
They also do their own.
Yeah, I was just say they may feel that they get high profile by just having their own exhibition. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. That's me. Anybody else got anything?
No.
Well, you better have, because I'm going to introduce the next segment. Over to you, Devon.
Over to Tim.
Over to me. Sick, man. Let's do it.
And now it's time for Devon's chosen subject.
So, basically, Ford said about a week ago, hey, I really want to talk about Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Can we do it on your next choice, Devon? I was like, okay, if you say so, Ford. I'll allow you to talk about Counter-Strike.
Well,
so that's happening now.
Right,
Basically.
that's what we're up to, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another reason why Tim's here as well, because Tim's an avid Counter-Striker, and he's very
like Devon.
globally offensive. So
He's offensive to the whole globe, is he?
exactly.
Oh.
So he's very good at it.
Yeah, take that, Texas. Yeah. So Counter-Strike.
So, yeah, how do you want to do this? What you got to say?
It's a sick game in the sense that it's easy to learn. Like Ford, I'd say you were relatively good at Counter-Strike, right?
Thank you.
How many hours have you got in Counter-Strike, Ford?
How many hours? Did I say 500?
He said, I think it was 240 hours.
240 hours. But you feel like you've got a basic gist of like the maps and everything like that.
How to play the game and
How to play the game.
how to shoot
So
a gun and things.
for people who don't know,
Yes.
what is Counter-Strike?
I was just about to ask that question. You've got to talk as if you're talking to me. Because
Long ago, when society was but a child.
Half-Life existed, and they made a mod for Half-Life, and that was Counter-Strike.
Oh. Really?
Counter-Strike 1.3 was the OG Counter-Strike. And then they made Counter-Strike 1.6, which is, in a lot of people's opinion, the best Counter-Strike there ever was.
Okay.
That's when the competitive scene really kicked off.
I want you to go even further back. I want you to tell people what Counter-Strike is in terms of great information, but we're talking about a first-person shooting game. That's what I'm...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because not everybody would understand.
Well, yeah, I was going to talk about what the game is, but you said give it the history of it.
Okay. It just so we're talking about running around a map in first person and
In random
shooting
directions
bad guys,
and
shooting bad guys or other people. Are they all? Is it always other real players?
It doesn't
or
have
is
to be, but the competitive scene will be. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can just go into a server by yourself if you wanted to and play against lots of bots. I think
There's bots there.
Yeah, I think
Computer
myself and
generated
Ford's
bad guys,
first experience with Counter-Strike was Counter-Strike Source, which is the one after 1.6. And me, Ford, and one of our friends, we would go into a server, put us three on one team, and then like 20 bots on the other team, and then just try and fight against them. And that's
So
what that's what it was.
the general idea is you have two teams of 5 people each, and one's the terrorists and one's counter-terrorists, and you either have to stop the terrorists laying a bomb, or if you're on the terrorist team, you have to lay the bomb. And that's it, really. If you wipe out the enemy or the bomb goes off, that's the end of the game, and obviously whoever wins.
And there's no other game modes.
There is. That's why I didn't define it like that. There's also like hostage rescue thing, but in the like professional competitive scene, it is all just bomb defusal. Yeah.
Okay.
But the game has lots of different game modes. Yeah, arms race, where like almost every time you kill someone, your gun upgrade, so you change gun. Or like surfing, where you're going around a map and trying to surf away and do weird kind of movements.
Try and get the fastest times.
Yeah,
That's fun. But
yeah,
Trying
there's
to
lots of different.
maximize your speed.
Yeah, there's lots of different game modes in the game itself. But in terms of competitive, streamlined, what the game is supposed to be, it's like 5v5 bomb defusal mostly. Yeah.
This is a big thing, isn't it, in gaming? This Counter-Strike. Why do you think it took off more than, say, I don't know, Call of Duty, or is it the same as people play Call of Duty competitively, or all the other multitude of different first-person shooters? Why do you think Counter-Strike has become the kind of...
Well, I mean, multiple first-person shooters have been the first-person shooter to play. So way back in the day, there was a game called Quake.
Oh, yeah. I remember
which
Quake.
was like an arena shooter. You just go around a map picking up different guns and fighting people. Then it went to Halo. Halo was a big one for a long time because that had strategy in it and timings that you had to learn. So it was, again, good for a casual. You could get some sick clips of you just killing 4 people in a row, 8 people in a row. It's disgusting. Learning spawn points, things like that. And then Call of Duty kicks in and it adds this fast-paced rowdiness of just killing everyone over and over and over. And then again, that's 4v4. And then for people who want a bit more strategy, kind of a little bit like chess in a way, Counter-Strike came out and there hasn't really been anything like it until really recently with Rainbow Six Siege and Valorant is the most recent one as well.
But what do you think it has that other highly competitive games don't have? Why is it interesting to you?
Good question.
It's frustratingly brilliant.
Yes.
That's the only way I can describe it to you. It's frustratingly amazing.
It's like a toxic relationship.
Yeah, but it keeps making you come back.
Yeah, it keeps making you come back, even though it makes you want to smash your screen times.
Or break a headset.
Or break a headset.
I'm guessing someone here has done that.
Of course, Tim's done it.
Like
He breaks everything.
throwing it across the room.
Broke a chair once.
Wow.
I shouldn't be admitting to that. I'm a very serious man.
Yeah, I think
No, it creates a passion.
Yeah.
That's the main thing about Counter-Strike. It creates a passion. It can go from me shooty bad guy to but if I go down this specific route, he's not going to watch it. And if I hold a certain angle for a certain amount of time, I reckon I'll be able to get that timing. Oh yeah, I pulled it off. And when you pull it off, it is incredible. You get this almost like a runner's high. There's a very well-known thing of when you're a runner, when you hit the pinnacle of the run, you get what's known as a runner's high. It's very much like that. When you achieve something, heck, you've just killed a dude and won the round. That's all you've done. But that moment just encapsulates why you play the game.
Are there many other shooters, first-person shooters, that have so much strategy? Because I know it's a highly strategic game if you go competitive.
Yeah, I mean,
is that the same in others?
Valorant has come out now. They're all competitive in their own way. Valorant, the characters that you play have ultimate abilities, so it's got a different dynamic on strategy. You still shoot the bad guy or put down the spike or defuse the spike, but you have these abilities that you can use. You save up for. You have like in-game currency, and you can spend that currency on either a better gun or more utility or your ultimate ability. It very much depends on what you want to spend it on. But yeah, Rainbow Six Siege is another one. You get a character at the start of the round. That character has a set number of abilities, but there's no like money involved per se. I could be wrong about that. Let us know in the comments. But yeah, CS as a game, Counter-Strike as a game, has been around since 1999.
Wow.
And yet it's still here. It's gone through many iterations, but it is still here in the PC gaming community as a staple.
It's still the most popular first-person shooter.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Games come and go. Even with Call of Duty, you have a new release every year. It's as simple as that. Because Activision know, okay, we'll lose a fraction of a percent of people who won't want to buy the next game, but they're going to buy the next game.
Yeah, but this iteration of Counter-Strike: A Global Offensive it's almost 10 years old, isn't it?
Yeah. It got released in 2012,
and it's still pretty big.
Have there been any graphical improvements over that period?
Oh yeah. It's very gradual though. That's the thing.
They're updating it, are they?
Yeah.
I mean, graphics capabilities of machines now are very different to what it was 10 years ago, isn't it? So
yeah.
Another reason why it's such a good game though is the fact that it can run on any machine.
I was going to say, is it the graphics that draw you to it?
Not at all. The opposite. The opposite. Yeah. It's other games like Call of Duty and like Valorant and Rainbow Six Siege that they have a lot better graphics than Counter-Strike, for sure, 100%. Yeah. But because you can have a cheap computer and still get really good frames per second, so the smoothness of the frames on your screen on Counter-Strike, then it's very accessible to a lot of people. A lot of people just want this angle's here, I'm going to peek this guy, and I'm going to shoot first because my reactions are faster, not because he has a better computer. And I'm going to win. So that appeals a lot.
Because there's no lens flares or dirt flying onto the screen or anything you get in modern games, is there?
No.
It's just, it is what it is. You see the important stuff.
Obviously, in an ideal world, everyone have a supercomputer, and then they can make like a really, really good-looking Counter-Strike.
So realistic.
That's not really what you go to Counter-Strike for.
It's not the priority.
At all, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A bit of a turn-off for me is that the game seems very serious. Like, it's not the sort of game I just go to for a laugh, you know?
Yeah.
Is that just the people I'm playing with? Pointing at them.
Yeah. Passion, just, passion overall, man.
Or do you think the game is inherently serious?
I think it's inherently serious if you're playing ranked. If you're playing to rank up or to not rank down and to progress, then it's very serious. So you got some people that obviously don't take it seriously. And a lot of people who just play the casual game modes, so there's no rank. But me and Tim aren't like that at all. I mean, we take it very seriously, and we want to get up there. Because you're playing on me and Tim play on the same platforms as professionals. So theoretically, I can win X amount of games, and I can play with professionals on this platform that I'm playing with. And obviously, I could get picked up by a team and get lots of money or whatever. It's all very open. So the one who plays the best makes it, basically, over a long period of time, of course. But so that's why people take it very seriously, because they want to win every single game, so they get closer to their end goal of, I don't know, making it big, I suppose.
Okay.
Wow.
Some people listening might be surprised when you use the word professional. I know we've talked about esports in previous episodes, haven't we? Going back away now, and we did discuss a bit of Counter-Strike. So this idea that people playing computer games for a living is what you've hinted at there, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you got anything to comment on that? How many people there might be in that category, and
Lots and lots and lots
and
of people.
what kind of reward is possible from that? And have you considered doing it yourself?
Well, if I was like 10 years younger, then yeah, I probably would.
Oh.
If I could commit like all day, every day to it, then yeah, I probably would go for it. But I'm just kind of just chilling. I'm in a team. I played an official the other day, and just showing back to what Tim was saying earlier, I was in an official game against another team, fighting to get into the playoffs of this tournament, and I had the sniper rifle. It's called the AWP, and I'm in I think it's like a 3v4 after plant. So that means the terrorists, the enemy team, have planted the bomb, and we've got to retake the site. And I'm running up. I hit this great shot on this guy swinging me, and then I flick up with a mouse and hit this really fast shot on the guy through a fading smoke. And I shoot this other guy right in the face when he's only showing the top of his head, and then I no scope another guy and defuse the bomb. And it's just like the feeling you get from that kind of thing. You don't beat it, and it's just so much. Yeah, it's so good.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway, back onto your point. I was thinking about talking about money, but I kind of didn't want to. We can if you want for a bit. Like a lot of the.
It's an extreme 1%. Just like with any sport. LeBron James makes $35 million a year, and that's just salary. We don't take into account his endorsements with Pepsi, with Nike. We don't take into account any of those things. Top CSGO professionals make incredible amounts of money for the space when you're really, really good. But that kind of money isn't going to be made by somebody like Devon's team.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
But then the organizations that Dev's team are being connected with aren't that big either. Okay. So it scales. It's a very scalable system.
Leagues, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah, leagues. Yeah. Exactly. Just like the Premier League.
Different divisions, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. That's what I mean by everyone's playing on the same platform as well. Like you win at one division, then you go up. And it's like, I could just keep winning in my divisions, then play against the best team in the world, theoretically. Okay. It's possible.
There's relegation, everything.
In normal times, there'll be big events that people go to and watch this happening, don't they?
Yeah. But, it's all still been going on through the pandemic, but obviously not in person. So obviously they'd have these tournaments, but it'll be online. So you view them through a website called Twitch or YouTube streaming as well. And they still got a lot of views, but obviously there's nothing quite like having a live audience, I think.
Being in a stadium, just hearing 5,000 people screaming at the same clutch as you.
Yeah.
I get
three of us went to the one in London, didn't we, in 2018, the major. And
it was very good.
Yeah. It was.
I'm not even that into the competitive scene, but I really got into it. Yeah.
Wow.
The hairs on the back of my neck were just standing up sometimes. It's such an experience. And it's the same with going to a live football match. You get the same euphoria when your team scores.
Except it's interesting.
So every 90 minutes nothing happens. Yeah, but that's all about this legacy as well, and the history that a lot of the players and teams have as well. So a lot of the interest surrounds the really good plays and really good things that the players are doing in the server at that point in time. But obviously, when you're actually at the event yourself and you see your favourite player just up there in real life on the stage that you've watched play online all the time, he's actually there and he's actually playing in front of you. Like it's a great
like
environment.
Meeting your favourite movie star, is it?
Yeah, like meeting Brad Pitt, but this dude's a little bit shorter and from Denmark.
I've got a selfie with one of the greatest players of all time, Olaf Meister, from the London Major. And it's really, I look back at it still like today, and it's really cool just seeing me and Olafmeister that I've seen on stream all the time.
You're hoping by getting close to him, it might rub off on you.
Yeah, just trying to get some of that. It's magic.
And that happens with some of those young prodigies. Devon met another guy called Cold Zero.
Yeah.
And there's a famous picture of Cold Zero meeting his childhood heroes back in the original days of Counter-Strike. And they were called Fallen and Fur. And then many, many years later, when Cold Zero is 17, 18, 19 years old, he's on a team with those legendary players and they're winning majors together.
Yeah.
It's weird how all these people who get good at competitive games are given weird names, aren't they?
Yeah.
they're born with these weird names.
Yeah, strange.
Very bizarre. So why do you say that age is an issue? Like you said, you could if you were like younger.
Well, I just got other commitments. I've got a family to feed and look after. Like I can't just sit there in my room all the time.
When I was going to college, and it was only 2 days a week, I could waste days just playing Counter.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, now I'm working and I can't put the effort in really, unless I come home, go to bed at 3 a.m. and then rinse and repeat, go to work, really not have a social life at all. You put all of your energy into this thing, it does take over.
Yeah, but a lot of people, what they do is obviously they have that just as their life completely, then they make it, and they're on a really good salary, and they're in an established team and everything, and then they get, okay, now I'm going to have a girlfriend, now I'm going to have a family. So a lot of the really, really top tier players have families, like they've got children, and they've got still 30-year-olds still playing and doing really, really well. Like,
but they've had to establish first,
yeah, it's really hard if you haven't got the time. But if they can treat it like a 9 to 5 in an established organisation, then you kind of set. But if you're in really, I guess, lower tiered organisations and players, they all play in like the evenings, so you can't really treat it as a job. It's like weekends and evenings type thing. Mm-hmm. It's not great. Like Forrest, how old is Forrest?
32, 33.
32, yeah. And he's still playing at the very top. And he's like, he's used to be one of the greatest players of all time, and he's still like doing incredibly well. So.
There must be an element of when you get to my age, your reactions slow down a bit and things like that, though. People are going to time out in the end, aren't they?
I don't know what the literature says about that, but I think it's like a muscle, and if you start working it out, then it's going to get worse, or it needs to be worked out more to be able to upkeep. Mm-hmm.
But even with these legendary players, these 30-year-olds, they'll be mentors for the younger generation. So they'll still be on a team, but they'll have a different role. Yeah. They might have been an aggressive AWP player to begin with, just banging heads left, right, and centre.
AWP is an AWP, the sniper that I was talking about earlier.
The sniper.
Oh, right, the name of
They might be ultra aggressive at the beginning of their career, like in 2007, but now we're in 2020 and they've changed their role completely, and they're a support player for one of these 16-year-old phenoms who are just banging.
They're playing smart and trying to get their teammates to get in there, but they're still at the top.
That experience always bleeds through, and that breeds better younger talent. We're seeing it just like in basketball, in the NBA, in football. Younger and younger people are coming forward. We're getting more and more Premier League caliber players at such younger ages. It's incredible to see, for sure. And it's bleeding through into Counter-Strike.
Yeah. You got anything else to share about it? Or is it just give us a bit of a background, isn't it?
Yeah, me and Tim talk about it all day, every day. Like, we can carry on. Depends how interested you are and how much time we've got, I suppose. So,
I've stopped reading books to play this game.
I'm finding that's the big thing for me is how much is it you're discussing, the maps or the tactics, or what is it that you, and how many variety of different maps are there?
So at any given time, officially from Valve, the makers of the game, there's 7 maps in the active map pool. And sometimes they rotate and they change out. Really. Yeah, not a lot at all. But the maps are very replayable because of the amount of strategy you can have. Yeah. So every single round of every single map, you can do something different, very different. And it depends on what the other team are doing, and how well that's going to work, and what you do personally as well within that strategy.
Counter-stratting all over the place.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
like Tim said, it's chess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Chess only has one map, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You
But
said
the
it's
chess-
like the same way every single time, but it's still played over and over and over again.
Chess has been around for years.
Almost 3 years.
Yeah. He's done me. I don't believe it. Yeah, chess has been around since what? The 1800s. They were playing a primitive version of it.
Wow.
Beats me.
I really don't know, but you could be right. Yeah.
It's been around forever, and that's what makes it a staple. You know, you don't have to change much about chess, and yet these books churn out every year, like pro chess starting strategies. You know,
Yeah.
Same thing with Counter Strike.
Okay.
100%. Love that game.
Oh, one more question. I don't have a PC as such. I do have an old laptop that's probably not up to anything much, but I do have a reasonably good Mac desktop. So can I play Counter-Strike on a Mac?
You can, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Linux, Mac
Okay.
OS, on
Right.
Windows.
Okay. Might be worth
But
a look.
I don't recommend, when you get to a certain point, a certain competition, competitor level, I do not recommend playing with a Mac. Just because of the capabilities of the machine itself. But
Really?
that's only something that someone like myself or Tim would notice. They've actually played lots and lots.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
so-
offense to Apple, but their implementation of mice sucks.
Okay.
Wow.
I should have left it where you were at, Devon.
That's next week's conversation, I guess.
I gave them praise at the beginning of the podcast. I'm now
that's
ripping
right.
into
It's a balance.
any good relationship is like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Job's
Thank
good.
you very much. Thanks, Tim, for your input and insights as well. Very interesting.
Let's set your next assignment and say goodbye.
Well, that really just leaves us. We're going to draw things to a close now. Then I did wonder, because I can't remember now what latest thing is with our assignment episode 45.2 will be out soon, and that will include our discussions regarding the film Planet of the Apes,
Yes.
1978.
No,
Yes.
it was earliest. 60.
No, 60.
60
really?
something. Yeah.
Oh gosh, Charlton Heston version anyway.
The
The
earliest
original
one.
Planet of the Apes film.
Apart from the book, yeah.
You could be right, actually.
Monkey Planet.
I think it's 68 or something like that. And then the book was 63, I think. If I remember correctly.
He's done his research.
Monkey Planet.
Yeah, 68. 1968.
Wow.
You're quite right. Yeah.
What are you
Anyway, so we're going to be discussing that, and hope you guys have got a copy of it. Do you know how to watch it?
Do tune in.
It's on Netflix
No way.
or Disney Plus.
It's on
Just
somewhere.
check.
But I have a DVD anyway.
You have a DVD. Okay, that's cool. And Tim, you're very welcome to contribute some comments if you do get a chance to watch it.
I'm down to watch
Yeah.
some Caesar yell at people.
Yeah. Well, no, we'll
That's the wrong
discuss it later.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about it now because there's some stuff. 1968.
Awkward
it
silence.
is available on Disney.
Great.
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
There you go.
Are the
Okay.
remasters on there as well?
I don't know.
I watched the Tim Burton one recently as well.
Oh
Tim
dear.
Burton one.
Yeah.
No way.
There's a lot of Planet of the Apes if you want to get into it, I think. Yeah.
That man's dipped his hand in everything.
Cool.
Don't forget to click on the links. Ford, are you kind of doing this, or do you want me to?
You're the host, or Tim is.
Don't forget to click on the links within the description if you want to vote for future assignment works that we could be looking at, both watching, playing, listening, and reading. There'll be 4 different votes on there, which each will have 3 options that you can choose from that you'd like us to be focusing on in future episodes. So that's about it, really. Apart from finding us on, of course, all the major podcast platforms and Twitter at Theory of Anything, T-I-N-G at the end, and our email address, theoryofanything@hotmail.com.
Sick.
Lovely.
I think that's all I need to say. We do have some T-shirts. If you want to buy a T-shirt, let us know. And
Send us an
we'll get
email.
that sorted for you. Oh, one more thing. I keep forgetting to do this. I want to give a big your
Shout
generation shout out or big
Hashtag.
praise to
Big up.
our editor-in-chief, because we don't mention her often enough. Trinity, who many listeners will remember, has been on the podcast several times herself. But she does a lot of work in the background. And at the very beginning, we would thank her every episode. 45 episodes ago, we're approaching our 50th big milestone, I guess. And the amount of work she puts in is phenomenal.
I went back to our first episode the other day, and it's pretty bad. Pretty bad quality, yeah. Don't. It's our most popular episode as well.
Yeah, it is. Maybe that's why it tailed off after that.
Yeah.
I think things have improved a bit since then.
I hope so.
If you're new to us, please do go look at our back catalogue, but be generous when you do. Don't be too critical.
Be warned as well.
Too harsh. Yeah. I don't think it's the content; it's more the quality that's a bit not the best. So I think time has been good to us. We've matured quite well. I think. Hopefully, you think so. All right.
Finally, a big thank you to our guest.
Yes, thank you, Tim. Thank you very much.
Your noise cancellation is so good, Ford.
Yeah.
You didn't even pick up your clapping. That's incredible.
I was trying to clap. It didn't work. I'm sorry.
Try again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it works. A bit better.
Just so loved.
It's always good to have you with us, Tim. Hopefully you'll be back again in future episodes.
I'm down. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Just leaves me to say until we meet around the microphone again next time.
Hasta la vista.
Bye.
Bye.